We got Eagles sitting at 6-2, Packers sitting at 5-2-1. They've got that obscure tie in their record, but they're both sitting on top of their respective divisions. So this is a big game. The Eagles are coming off 2 wins, and the Packers are coming off a loss. They lost to the Carolina Panthers, of all teams. I don't know what's going on with the Packers. They like to lose to the teams that aren't so great. They lost to the Browns earlier this year. Now they lost to the Panthers. But will they turn it around against the Eagles? We will find out on Monday night. But how are you feeling about these two teams? Like, we're at about the midway point of the season now. Both of these teams are in first place in their division, but does it feel like one team's going one direction, the other team's going another? Or do you feel like these two teams are going to be there at the end of the day?
Well, I think initially both teams were going in the same direction at the beginning of the season, especially the Packers, the way that they started off the season, right?
Yep.
And also having that big pick with Parsons as well. But here's the thing. Eagles, Packers. You talked about those 2 wins that the Eagles had. Which 2 were you referring to?
Which 2 wins? Or
that
which
the Eagles are you referring to? Because I say this, Mark, because in the last week, the Packers lost and the Lions lost. So are you talking about those 2 wins that they got? Or the 2 games they physically were in? Or the 2 games that they got on a bye week?
That's
where
right.
they didn't
that's
play.
Right. Yeah,
and the Packers and Lions both lost.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, do you consider off weeks a win?
In that case, they won.
That's true.
Yeah, with those 2 losses, they won. But, when I look at the Packers as well and Jordan Love, throwing the ball underneath the coverage, he looks very good at doing that. He's efficient. He's making the passes. He's making the throws. There's been one particular play this previous week that, it didn't happen with him throwing the short pass. But he's been consistent, in terms of that. But in terms of getting the W's and getting the wins when they really count, they've had some upsets on those 2 losses. So. And, recently we were talking about this off camera and they talked about the tie being something that's kind of saving them this season, right? But I think
how do you feel about ties, Priest? How do you feel about
they're
ties?
Unnecessary.
You think they should just keep playing until somebody wins?
You just play until somebody wins because, that tie just puts you in a peculiar situation. But in this particular way that is helping the Packers, it helps them with that tie. So
yeah, we'll see how it affects at the very end of the season. I feel like that tie is going to be very, very important when it comes to the end of the year. Before we get into some predictions with this game, okay, I want to talk about outspoken players. So A.J. Brown, right, receiver for the Eagles, he speaks his mind. I want to be more involved. I'm not involved enough. Squeaky. Does the squeaky wheel always get the grease? That could play in a player's favor. It could not. They could get traded, right? They can get ousted. Have you been in a locker room where you've had an outspoken player, whether you were in Baltimore or KC, or you could feel the vibes on one player? They're just like, I don't know if I want to be here. What's that like, and how does it affect the locker room?
Well, I think it definitely helps that particular person as far as getting, that agenda that they're trying to get past, that narrative that they're trying to set as far as, let me speak my mind, let me get what I'm thinking out there out front so everybody knows where I'm at. But as a team, it can be a detriment. It can hurt the team. It kind of singles you out as one single player. And it's like, as a team, this is the direction that we're going. And it doesn't always feel that, if you're not getting those receptions, you're not getting those passes, the balls aren't going your way, right? Just because of the defense might be targeting or they may be focusing more on one particular player than others. You'll see that happen. But between the team and between a single player, it's the team that counts. So right. The guy that's speaking out, he has to do it. He has to pick his poison, right? There's a time where you need to speak up and there's a time where, you need to fall back and then, be a part of the team. But, there's players that's just kind of like, it's in them. You know what I mean? They can't but have to be able to speak out about something that whether it's going right or going wrong, they're going to speak on it. But it's 2 things that I think about the Eagles and the Packers.
Okay. What's top of mind for you?
I know this is going to be a big game. Right. And it means a lot. And the thing is that in the month of November, especially December, you have to win. But in November, that's when the defense is really, really starting to play some great football. Right. The thing about this is that the Eagles has the bye week. So they're going to be a team that's coming off some wins and then feeling a lot more confident about themselves, in terms of injuries. AJ, you'd spoken about him coming off of some of the things that he had some little mild injuries as well. So it gives him an opportunity. You know what? When you're down and you got a little bit of an injury, you might as well take that time to start speaking out, right? You got to make yourself known, right? Because sometimes you can't do it on the field, especially if you're kind of recovering from an injury. But it gives them time. It gives both teams an opportunity to be able to come back into this week's game and to be dominant. We'll see what happens. But I think that the Jordan Love and throwing the balls underneath, I think he's very consistent on that. He's just got to be able to hit that deep ball.
All right. I feel like you're giving us a little bit of a tease here when it comes to Priest's Beast of the Week. We're going to focus on the quarterbacks. But let's do some general predictions here real quick. All right. Who's going to win this game? Just who's going to win this game outright?
Well,
Who you got?
So
Eagles on the road here. So they got to go to Green Bay.
It's tough to play in Green Bay. I think everybody knows that. But I think that the Eagles coming off of a break, coming off a bye week, they have the advantage. I believe they're going to be more rested. Also, there's a number of acquired players that they're bringing in, which makes a big difference. And they've got Jalen Phillips. He's going to be on the edge. He's a disruptor. And the quick releases that he almost forces the quarterbacks to be able to release that ball as quickly as they can because he's going to apply that pressure. So there's a running back also that the Eagles picked up as well with Tank. So I think that they're positioning themselves to be able to come out of this bye week to where we've reloaded. We've got some additional backup. We've got some guys that come from teams that they're not having success in, like the Jets in Miami, right? Bringing in players from those two teams, and it's just like you're adding this layer of guys that wouldn't you be happy if you were coming from a team that wasn't being very successful, and you automatically get planted right in Philadelphia to play?
It's like you're in the last row of the plane, and all of a sudden you get upgraded to first class.
You're in first class, right? So it's like, let's go. It's like a different player. They're playing different, and that's a different excitement. So I think in terms of Philly, they've got this excitement coming off of the fact of number of players that they've been able to acquire. So I think that makes a big difference.
Okay, and look, when you play Green Bay in Green Bay, you want to do this when the tundra is yet frozen, not yet frozen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So
now,
it's November; it's not frozen yet.
I played in Green Bay. I think it was one time actually.
One time, okay.
Oh, it was nice. It was sunny outside.
Oh, yeah.
There was no
Did you get the
snow.
September game?
Yeah, it was early. It was early. And I already knew it was going to be a lot of groundwork, and we're going to be running the ball and trying to control the clock, a number of those things. And in that particular game, I think I had like 9 carries in a row just to kind of seal it at the very end. Like we had to get first down after first down to make sure that we didn't allow Green Bay back on the field. So I'm familiar with playing in Green Bay on a nice warm day. I could not give you any advice about when it's cold and the field is ice. I couldn't give you any help on that.
Yeah, gotcha. Well, look, they don't have to worry about it. It's not snowing there yet. But who knows? Between now and Monday, who knows? All right, so who you got in this game? Who you got?
I'm going Eagles.
Okay, you're going Eagles.
They're
with
rested.
The W?
They're rested. They've got some wins.
Okay, on the road.
Right. I think the Packers as well. They've been a little bit inconsistent. Right. Although, like I said, the passing game has been consistent on underneath throws.
They're working the tight end, man. They're working the tight end this year. Love it. Love to see it.
Someone also lost the tight end as well, and so that makes a big difference as well. So when you have some of your players that, have been producing on the field and an ACL tear comes, and I don't know what it is between ACL tears, MCL sprains.
All the CLs, yeah, they're all getting.
You're seeing it this season, and I don't know if the players are going to be able to bounce back from that as quickly, in that particular position. But it definitely hurts your team when you have one of your guys that's a tight end that's producing on the field, and then comes up with a big injury like that.
All right, final score. What are you feeling?
You always get me with these final scores.
Yeah. We got to throw it out there. What do you think the final score is? I mean, you think this is you were alluding to it earlier. This is when the defense is really in full swing here. So I feel like you tend to lead towards lower scoring games. You think that's going to be the case here?
Yeah, I can't go with the lower score.
Okay, you think it's going to be a shootout?
On the Eagle side, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I think 28 points, Eagles, and Packers 14.
14? I'm feeling 17. I'm feeling 28-17.
28-17.
Yeah, you're feeling 28-14. Okay. Breaking news from Bet365. New customers, Priest, $5. You just bet that and you can get $200 in bonus bets. Win or lose. So sign up, place a bet for $5 and get $200 in bonus bets. Win or lose.
Bonus bets can be used on the spread, player props, futures, and so much more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER in Arizona, Colorado, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maryland, North Carolina, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, and Virginia. Or 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa. 21 plus only. 18 plus in Kentucky. Please gamble responsibly, and you must be present in Arizona, Colorado, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, and Kentucky, as well as Louisiana and select parishes. Maryland, North Carolina, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, and Virginia. $10 minimum deposit required. Terms and conditions apply. In-app only.
This has been a Playmaker production.